Well, I forgot a dish for Chachi to eat out of for something sloppy like this kibble and mashed potatoes, tater dust. I'm just gonna try to make a little bowl. Let's see if we can make that work. Not ideal. I don't know. Bushcraft maybe. Let's check it out. How many years we've been filming each other, man? Huh? So I forgot a dish for her, so I just made a little dog dish.
You're kidding. What is that?
Tater dust. Good girl, come on. Little backcountry dog bowl. General purpose tarp. There you go. Enjoy. Good girl. Go ahead. Good girl. To the cribs. Welcome to the crib. Yeah. There you go. Felt pretty good last night. Chachi's got the 30 Cryptech. She looks like she's doing okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna work out good for her. Mark's got a leak in his Neo Air. Couldn't find it today. So we just don't know what it's gonna be like, do we?
I bet it's going to be kind of stiff. This is the way we roll. I like to sleep on rocks myself. Don't you?
Nice little trick. Look at that.
Yes, all day long, dog.
Bushcraft.
Right. What's he doing right now? What is that trick that he's doing?
Sure does look like a new shiny
He does.
strap.
Made especially for this. What's he doing right now? I want to take notes. That's because Daddy don't have to go surfing tonight. That's right. There.
Yeah.
Daddy likes to roll.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I'm glad I washed out the boat last night of all the mud and rocks that we collected during the day. Because if you don't, they get frozen in the floor of the boat, and then you just add to it every day instead of start fresh with a new floor, clean floor, and you can see all the frost. Everything would just freeze in place. If those rocks get down below the floor and get trapped underneath the floor, above the subfloor, not what we're about to do. You don't want to be dragging with rocks stuck under your floor. And it's going to get pretty bony for a mile, I'll bet. So either way, we did what we needed to do. That's good travel maintenance right there for your transportation. Just overall protection and good plan. Another, I don't know if I've shown this at all, but I try to keep my shoes inside my sled rolled up, my camp shoes, and especially like this morning because I've got Chachi's dog shit smeared into my prints. Not cool, man. Things we do for our loving dogs, huh? There we go. What up? Cold mornings especially, it's good to come top off your Raft tubes, maximize your air pressure, make everything taut, but it also decreases your draft so you float over some of those otherwise draggable scenarios. That's what we're hoping for this morning. So I want to make sure this boat is fully topped off. I got all the meat laid out instead of in game bags, since it wasn't quite 50 yet, 50 degrees. We've got them sitting on those rocks to cool down and to dry off. Pretty brilliant if you ask me. Clean rocks, cold. Those are ice cold cubes right there, boy. Been sitting here for almost an hour. It's almost 50 degrees. So I'm gonna get a thermometer here right after I eat and just see how much that's helped getting it off the carcass and on those cold rocks. Good job, Mark.
All day long.
That's pretty good. We already got the back strap down to 60 degrees. Oh hell, that's 50 degrees. That's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty thin, but let's see what the leg looks like. We got this down to around just under 80 degrees. No, it's right at 80. That's not bad for 2 hours post-harvest, post-dismemberment. Well, this meat cache is a very simple one. Take advantage of a little willow that's there. It's a very small cow, so not a very heavy one at all. We'll be able to use that willow for some tarp coverage and loft. Yeah, I like it. So we're right at 31, 32 degrees. So what I definitely need to do is make sure none of this freezes today or tomorrow. So you're going to see me put all this fresh meat in bags real quick. Reduce the airflow. And put them close together so that they hold each other's heat in. Let's see. Just keep tinkering with it until we find the ideal setting. Get them out of these wet bags. I'm just trying to mitigate that by getting them in dry bags and reducing airflow, you know, etc. All of what you just saw me do is somewhat counterintuitive to what you might consider expert advice, so do with that what you want, but in my opinion, meat does not taste good if it freezes within the first 72 hours. Meat needs time to go through rigor mortis. That takes 48 to 72 hours, and that's chemistry. I think we've done good though. We piled the meat close together in dry bags, covered it in tarps, and if you love your meat, you'll just sit here and massage it warmly. Think about how good that 50 or 60 pounds of caribou is going to taste when it's back home. Ooh, son! Not very often you get a chance to shoot a cow, a yearling cow at that. Love it. Or put under here to elevate it. I've kind of been thinking about how all of this meat is laying directly on these rocks, which are super cooled right now. And I think that's counterintuitive to what I was trying to do, is bump up the core temperature and not bring it down. So I'm just going to modify it by putting some elevation under there to get it off the rocks, keeping it wrapped up in this tarp. Thinner the meat cut, the faster it cools. I never anticipated it being close to freezing less than 24 hours after the harvest, but the whole caribou only weighs 50, maybe 55 pounds. So that's not a very big animal at all. It's a learning lesson to me how fast it's cooling because it's so thin, even the hindquarters. All right, I'm gonna go clean the blood off this raft. Keep the scents down for the critters, but also it makes it smell better in about 4 or 5 days. If you let any of this blood sit for 24 hours, 36 hours, it starts to stink, man, and you're just drawing bear threats. So even though that was a clean harvest and we did our best to keep the raft clean, it still got blood on it. So gotta deal with it.
Do something about your long, filthy hair. It looks like a rat's nest. Do something about your mullet. Get out the hair clippers, jerk. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Get the rat's nest off your head. Get that crazy ass mullet off your skull. Take your ass to the barber shop. Tell the barber that you're sick of looking like an asshole. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. The mullet is the reason why people hate you. They are sick of looking at your nappy wheat sack. Nobody wants to look at you with that mullet on your head. Why don't you cut that mullet, you numbskull? Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Cut the mullet. Rock over London, rock over Chicago, Insure One. It's the insurance superstore.
Oof. Dang. Well, it's been 2 hours since our mitigation. Let's just check the core temperature and see if it's fluctuating off that 31 degrees. It's femur, so that's a hind quarter. It's up to 33 degrees, so man, that is, what we did was the exact right thing to do. It's on a trending up. Anywhere between 33 and 39 degrees is ideal. Just have a little hole where the thermometer went, and you just rub that and it disappears. Booyah! Not that I recommend it, but it shows how resilient these bags are. And if you get a little poke from a stick or something, you can usually scratch that area and close up that hole quite a bit, if not completely. Sweet. Okay, it's been 2 additional hours. So now we're at 25 hours post dismemberment. Let's see what the core temp's doing now. We're up to 35 or so. I'll uncover them, and since the ambient temperature is 44 degrees right now, we're safe to leave it out. Looks like it's bottoming out at 37. So I'm going to go ahead and return to ventilation and take the tarp off so the airflow can get up there, because that's pretty good for ambient temperatures in the 42 to 44 range.
Looking at that skank makes me want to go do something. The meat looked pretty clean to me.
Yeah. That is a stack of meat, man. I love it. So proud to be able to taste this. Okay, a bizarre sprinkle showed up. Started wetting the meat, so I hurriedly put everything back in the bags. Secured it under the tarp. It's all resting nicely, elevated. Airflow is provided. Good cover. Perfectly secure. What you're looking at here is the bottom surface of the raft. We just have it eased over with gear loaded. You'll see in just a minute, but we've got bale holes that delaminated, and it's causing water to build up on top of the floor, and we've got to patch it. In fact, I just did that one with flex tape as seen on TV, and it really works in a pinch. And this stuff comes in a roll. As you can see, flex tape. And it's 4 inches by probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet. But plenty for one repair kit. And just cut off enough that covers at least an inch, if 2 inches if you've got confidence in the rest of your repair needs. Really sticky stuff, and it sticks to raft material even when it's wet. Voila. No more leakage. Guarantee. Guarantee. On the positive note, all those repairs I made to the floor, you might ask, how durable is that flex tape for, you know, bottom surface repairs on rafts? All I can tell you is that's what it looks like after tens of miles, probably close to 75 miles. And you can see the floor takes a good little lick. Yeah, I think it's pretty durable. I can't prove it, but I'd say that it gets hard when it's underwater, and it probably gets, you know, pretty firm but forgiving. That one's coming up a little bit, but still doing great, man. I'm actually impressed. Now getting it off, it might be another story. It might be a semi-permanent thing. Dump that in the water, submerge it to find the hole, and but plaguing him for 5 days. Tired of hearing him complain about it. He finally found that sucker.
Dang right I did. I took walked out in the river and dunked it. I baptized it. See it right here?
Yep. There's that if you want it.
Is it?
Think it'll do it? Should do it.
Well, you're sleeping on it tonight. I'm sleeping on yours. You just let me know in the morning. What do you think?
That should do it. Keep that, just in case. Oh. 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 Maybe you can turn that camera off for a bit. And then oh yeah. There we go. Daddy feels good now. We've got squeaky oars. And earlier in the trip I used some caribou fat back, like kidney fat. Really soft. You know, that's kind of your most tender fat. We're using that to lubricate these oarlock shafts, and it worked for 50-60 miles the last time. Didn't take much. Thanks to the wolf. Just let that work its way in there, get juicy. I like it juicy. Just grind it in there, pull it up, stick it in there, grind it in there. Now don't be bringing my rental gear back with a bunch of maggots on it. Easy greasy. Go kill a moose. If you're wondering, these are you can get these scissors at Lowe's in the electrical section. Look under general purpose scissors or journeyman scissors. That's how I learned the name, is journeyman or electrical scissors. I think Stanley makes these. They're pretty simple. It's so much easier than a razor blade. You have fewer cuts to your hide too, because you can kind of stop the action with scissors. With a razor blade, you generally cut all the way through. Or the traditional scraper, but this just is more efficient in my opinion. Air temperature 28 degrees. Even just putting a little river water in my cup, it's already frozen. But we got to take the floor out, get this boat ready to go back home. And it's probably not going to be 28 degrees there, so we'll likely do the best we can cleaning it right here, so that we don't have any issues when we get back home. I'll just show you what that process looks like. Done cutting rid of the blood and most of the dirt and grime and grit and pebbles, so cleaning up back home is so much freaking easier when it's pre-winter. Good enough, man. I'd be really thankful if all of our rental rafts came back with this just a little bit of 5 minutes of care before you leave the river. And being too cold is not an option.
See how fast you roll the raft. It's like a tenderloin. Look like a monkey. Can't be a challenge when they're frozen. It'll stick in your glove box. Well, what do you know? That's look at it! What do you think about that, boy? How slick is that? All day long. All day long. That's like you taking out about a carp.